Hello there, and you're very welcome to another edition of Mullooly Matters, our weekly podcast and our vlog from here from the corridors of the European Parliament, when we try and give you a flavour of events going on in Brussels, but we also meet some of the people who come out to meet us in the Parliament on a regular basis and tell us a little bit more about the issues that are important in their lives. In this edition of the podcast, I'm delighted to welcome two very busy and two very energetic women from County Cavan. Tormey and Catriona Flanagan are both here from an organisation called NESA, which is the North East Sepsis Awareness Group. Ladies, you're very welcome.
Thank you.
To Brussels. It's a long time since we met in Cavan. And Catriona, you're busy. What's NESA all about?
So, Ciaran, NESA is the North East Sepsis Awareness Organisation, and myself and Hannah founded NESA last April, and it was officially launched last October. And what we do is we educate the community, our own communities, local communities, on the signs and symptoms of sepsis. Sepsis is, it's a huge killer. It's killing over 3,000 people per year in Ireland alone. And people that know the signs and symptoms and get early recognition have better outcomes.
And, you know, from time to time we hear a little bit more about it in the media. There have been high-profile cases, for instance, in the last number of years. But for the most part, people don't pay that much attention to the symptoms. That's why you produced these important advisory leaflets for the public. Anyone can pick them up at the GPs, which immediately critically hones them into the critical features, which you've outlined here very clearly. Yeah. The slurred speech, the extreme shivering, down to the having not passed urine in the previous 12 hours, shortage of breath, feel like I'm going to die, which is a hell of a situation for anyone, and the skin mottled, the rash.
The rash.
They're the key symptoms, which sometimes we don't look out for.
No, we don't. And it's very, very important that if you see your loved one or friend, family members with any of the symptoms that you've said there, Ciaran, it's really important to get them to their local ED. And just, I suppose, another important point in relation to sepsis is you must have an infection. You have to have an infection.
Right, OK. That's a critical feature. Hannah, you and I, we've talked about this before. You're here in Brussels to move on the project now. You started it in Cavan and in Meath and all over the place in the North East. You've done very well. But you want to bring it to another level now. What do you want to do?
So we want to have a national sepsis awareness campaign for the community. We want to educate the public and have everyone has the opportunity to learn about sepsis and to be able to protect themselves if they end up getting any signs or symptoms, and to get medical treatment straight away.
So you did some crucial work in your region, and you've distributed thousands of these leaflets.
Thousands, yeah.
But now you want to put it on a broader footing and a stronger footing for all over the country?
Absolutely, because we've hit literally everywhere in the North East, so we want to be able to do the rest of the country. We want everyone in Ireland to have the opportunity to know what sepsis is and how to look after themselves and their loved ones. So the two ladies came to Brussels this week. We had an opportunity to meet representatives of DG Santé. They gave an incredible presentation to the representatives of the health division here, where you outlined the sort of escalation you want. You have that vision, that blueprint for the future. You want to see television advertising, radio advertising. Give us an outline of that stuff again. Local link. We want, every town now has a local link. So let's get it on the local links. Let's get it up there, the signs and symptoms. And the question that is so important. Ask the question, could it be sepsis? So that it's in your mind and you're thinking about it. We had a massive billboard created at home in Cavan on the way out to the hospital. It's huge and the feedback is incredible from it. And people are even saying, I didn't even know what it is. But with that message, I'm now looking it up and seeing what it is so that I'm prepared in case anybody I know gets it. So.
And I know, Catriona, you feel that particularly when people are going into hospital, they should be aware of this stuff.
Absolutely.
You don't need to be relying on the doctors and the nurses who are busy as it is, but they should be the ones pushing the agenda. What do you want people to say when they go into hospital?
So we want people to ask the question again, could it be sepsis? You know, do I need IV antibiotics? Do I need IV fluids? Do I need oxygen? What bloods? Are you going to take my bloods? You know, what bloods do I need? Are you going to take blood cultures? And that's why, Ciaran, we devised the leaflets. And the questions are on our leaflets. And we heard only last week that these leaflets are going to be distributed in our local hospitals, which is an amazing milestone for NESA, for the North East Sepsis Awareness Organisation, Ciaran.
Very good. And I suppose let's look then at the political side of it. So here in Brussels, I'm involved in various committees, not involved in DG Santi, which is the health committee, but yesterday, when the two ladies were, we organised a visit. So now we're going to try and move the project to another stage. We're going to try and use your visit, as the kickstart, the catalyst, for developing this project into a campaign in association with the Irish presidency.
Yeah.
So that's our plan, by first and foremostly talking to colleagues here in the European Parliament, MEPs that you're meeting this week, and then meeting again, hopefully with Jennifer Carmackneil, the Minister for Health in Dublin, and this time going back with a coordinated plan tour, supported by our own colleagues in government, supported by independents in Leinster House, and you'll be saying to her, you want to allocate funding, be part of the funding package, because you can't continue to raise funding on your own.
No, we rely on donations. So like our wallet cards, our leaflets, our flyers, our posters, we have disposable coffee cups. We now are after getting reusable coffee cups. Every single one of them is on a donation from the public, which is wonderful. But sometimes people are coming looking for X amount and coffee cups, and we just don't have it. So we have to keep relying on donations and little fundraisers here and there from good people to get it back out there. But these are so powerful. Like, we've given these everywhere we go. We carry them, we give them out. And like at different fundraisers and sepsis awareness events that we've done, we've given them especially to like even the young people. And then we go into town and they're in the back of their phones, so they are carrying them. And like even our GAA sepsis video, they're watching it. Like the feedback is brilliant. So we need the funds to keep getting it out there.
Your visit was important, Hannah, here, but you had an even more important event yesterday in your life. Your daughter, who knows a lot about sepsis, had her big graduation. Tell us about your own life experience there.
So Sophie, 2 years ago, got sepsis from a kidney infection. And we had her at the doctor's 3 times, the doctor on call. Then we were in the hospital for 3 days in A&E. So it was a kidney infection where the infection stemmed from pyelophonitis of the kidney, and it developed into sepsis. So Sophie's one of 50% who ended up with post-sepsis syndrome after she was lucky enough to survive sepsis. But yesterday she graduated from college.
Which was a great day and a great moment for you.
Yeah.
Catriona, regrettably, you've had life experience of this as well. It comes to some, as you said, 3,000 people, and it's hit your own family.
It has. Ciaran, I lost my beautiful mother, Angela, in 2018. She was only 60 years old. She developed flu-like symptoms, and she was gone within 24 hours from sepsis. She was a very fit lady, no underlying conditions. And as myself and Hannah do say in all our talks, sepsis does not discriminate. It can affect anyone. So I suppose we're turning a tragedy into hope, and that's why we're here.
Yeah, it's. I mean, those personal experiences are the stories which make an impact with politicians like me. That's the first thing I have to say. And other MEPs, I know you've spoken to Nina Carberry, you'll be speaking to Sean Kelly and politicians from across the divide. That's what I want to see. This is not a party political issue. It's a community issue.
Yeah.
It's a broad community issue. And those human stories, the effect on homes and families, is what has to really tell the powerful story. Because we're not really facing up to it, Hannah, are we? Because we're not even still registering sepsis as a cause of death in some cases.
No.
So we're not facing up to the responsibility we have to deal with this.
So people are arriving into A&E, and be it a chest infection, pneumonia, heart attack, and who end up then eventually having an infection in the blood, which is sepsis, and they're dying from sepsis, but it's not being recorded. Whatever they arrive on admission is being recorded on the death cert. So the figures aren't accurate. We have access to the public figures, but not the private figures. And like 8 people a day are dying in Irish hospitals from sepsis, from a condition that is preventable. 1 in 5 die from sepsis.
Yeah. One of the pieces of work, Catriona, we're going to do, arising from our meetings this week, is deal specifically with the authorities in the European Commission who are responsible for emergency medical, I suppose you call it, pandemics and epidemics and anything that is critical. They have funding that they are spending on therapeutic responses to things like sepsis. So we're going to go after them. It's a DG, it's a division of its own here in the Parliament. Maeve King from my team is going to pursue that issue. We'll be meeting with that DG in the coming weeks and the coming months. They are allocating over 200 million across 27 member states to try and help people in the therapeutic response to sepsis. But you guys still feel making awareness is the first step in dealing with it. So you try and deal with it quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Early recognition is paramount when it comes to sepsis. You know, time is key.
Yeah. And the time is absolutely crucial. Time lost is a major. You've had a good response, I know, from the community already. Cavan, GA and all other sports are backing you up. I saw another fundraiser only this week. You're doing fantastic things.
People are just amazing. We had a young girl, Clara Muldoon, and she did the Cube. A fabulous young lady, and she raised, nearly 6,000 for us. And then we had another young lady from Mulla, Shifra, and she did a skydive for us, and she raised funds as well. So we are so thankful. We are so thankful.
Well, I know one thing, ladies, when I started to talk about after my visit, at the invitation of Shane P. O'Reilly, your local councillor down there, I went down to meet you in your home and we sat down. And then I spoke about it in the Parliament the following week. And the response was incredible. We had calls from all over the place. People who've been on that path as you have and are saying, you're dead right, the awareness is not there.
Yeah.
That it's much more, from your perspective, it's rather than just having a pop-up stand going into a hospital or something that might catch somebody's eye. You wanted, Hannah, that it will catch somebody's eye.
Absolutely. Like, I always talk about the St Patrick's Day parade, the little 4-year-old boy who noticed us in the red T-shirts and went home and asked his mammy why was all them people wearing red T-shirts that were giving out flyers and leaflets. And the mammy explained sepsis as simplified as she could to a 4-year-old. And then during that week at school, his friend fell in the playground and he ran into this office to get the first aid kit because he was afraid his friend was going to get sepsis from the cut on his knee. He couldn't say the word properly. But the teacher actually educated the whole class as best she could on sepsis awareness, ended up going through the whole school. And I was saying, like, every child in that school went home and talked about sepsis within their home. So from one little boy being so aware that day, so many people were educated.
Yeah. OK, very good. Well, I want to thank Hannah, Tormey and Catriona Flanagan for coming to Brussels. And I want to address this issue myself at this point. Politicians like myself have a responsibility to respond to situations like this. And so, sometimes say Europe can't do anything about it. Well, we've established this week that Europe can help out. Not directly to DG Santi, because the Irish government will be responsible for a campaign, but onwards to both the support in the medical profession, through the support in terms of funding, which could be possible through the Horizon programme, which we're going to investigate as well. But in general, creating awareness in our own political parties and in our groups. So, arising from this, I've spoken to my colleagues in Independent Ireland. Our 4 Independent Ireland TDs are fully behind you in your work. You'll in the coming weeks, you'll hear Richard O'Donoghue, Ken O'Flynn, Michael Collins and Michael Fitzmaurice rowing in behind you in terms of this work. We're bringing this campaign to the National Ploughing Championship with our stand in September. You're going to hear more about it at the stand. We're going to hopefully have one of the ladies with us as well. We'll be distributing the leaflets. And by that stage, I hope to have moved this on to the next stage. It's crucial from my perspective that we actually encourage as many people as possible to become aware of it. We build up the awareness, then we build up a political drive, a political initiative on that. And that's where we're going to be. It seems to me this is a no-brainer. We have to give this top priority. I look at ads on the television sometimes put on by the Department of Health and other government departments, and I say to myself, is that really a big enough issue to merit the amount of money that's been spent on that campaign? You see some campaigns from time to time, public health campaigns, and you wonder, is it really the burning issue? Is it leading to, as ladies have said here today, 7 to 9 deaths per day in our country? Yet it's getting a significant amount of funding. So it's a job like me, as an MEP in Brussels, to highlight the issue, then to work with my colleagues, which I will. We will work with the Irish government because they have the presidency now for the next 6 months. Throughout the summer, we will continue to work with Jennifer Karen McNeill. I will personally take it up with her. And we will ask them to use the occasion of one of the Irish summits, one of the Irish informal meetings during the presidency, to take time to come out and highlight this issue. Ireland has to lead on this. So at the end of the presidency, we have a legacy of our 6 months. We took the issue of sepsis, we put it out on the European stage, and for the first time, we rode in funding behind it. That's the critical issue here. So the talking will stop. In September, October, we'll wait for the work to happen in terms of support for the ladies here. This is not patronisation, but at the end of the day, Hannah and Catriona and all their colleagues can only do so much. You can only raise so much as well. And I've said to them many times on a personal front, I don't want to see you burning out. I don't want to see you becoming exhausted because the pace you're going at is incredible. And I say, I'm not patronising you, I've seen it myself. But what I am saying to you and to the people listening and tuned into this podcast is that this is coming your way. Watch out for NESA, the North East Sepsis Awareness. Watch out for the leaflets and the brochures. And then it's up to you to speak to your TD, your local TD, your local senator, your local councillor, and ask them for the Irish government to make it a priority. Ask them to pick up the phone and put the message through. We need you to back this committee and make it a priority of the Irish presidency. And with that, that's the end of the lecture. That concludes this week's, this edition of Mullooly Matters, the podcast. Thanks again to Catriona and to Hannah for coming out and doing such a fantastic job. We'll talk to you again very soon. Bye-bye for now.